This tutorial is going to be about using the program Piskel. So once you open it up, you're going to have an option here that says Create Sprite. When you come into it, you can scroll with your mouse, and that's going to show the whole window. You can see if you zoom in, you can see the yellow thing zooming in on it. And essentially you've got your tools down the left, color palette here. It's got a transparent background and some settings down the side. So you've got export, all those sorts of things. The main one we're going to go to here is resize. At the moment for the final game, we're working with a 32 pixel by 32 pixel setup. Whether that's in the center or whatever, the anchor point, it doesn't matter. You can change this to 64, which means you'll end up with a bigger character on the game sort of thing, but we're trying to stick to 32. So once I've got that, you can see here with the pen tool various sizes. The small one, big one, it's a lot bigger. Got a paint bucket tool and a few other things, selection devices and that, and I'll go through some of them now. So I'm just going to have black. I've got my pen tool. I'm going to put it on the second one up, which is a wee bit bigger, and I'm going to start. Oh. You can go Command Z to undo things. You can hold the Shift key as well. Just going to keep the line work relatively straight. And so I'm going down here and putting some shapes in. So try and do the Shift key again. Oops. Put it across the bottom. You can see it's getting a bit weird because I'm doing a double shape, but I'll get the eraser. So it means sometimes you get these kind of half lines. As you get quick, it's P for the pen, the eyedropper tool to select color as O. We'll kind of go through that as we go along. Try and do this reasonably quickly. So at the moment I'm doing a little cat. Cool. Okay, so I've got that. So now I can jump in here. I can change the color, pick another color, and I can start to paint in here again. If I paint a shape like this, I can go to the paint bucket tool and it'll just fill that space in. Back here, see it's changed color. So now if I go to the eyedropper or I hit O, I can click that, P for pen again, and I can click in here. I'll just bring that down a wee bit, stick in a couple of eyes, and now I'm going to pick a color for it. So I'll pick something that's a bit more of a orangey color, and again this I know is B, so I'll just hit B for the paint bucket tool and fill the colors in. O for the eyedropper, P for the pen, and I'm just going to fill in a bit more here. Again, B for the paint bucket, fill it in. And I'm just going to get a slightly darker colour. So if I go O to get the orange, double click it, and I'll just pick a bit of a darker colour. P for pen, it's still on that same size, which is good. Just adding some little bits in here, and then what I'm going to do is I'll pick something that's like a proper grey. So this is going to look like a kind of shadow underneath the neck, and again maybe I'll do that a little bit darker. Cool. Okay, that looks good. And last I'll give them some little pink ears. O to get this, and I'm just going to put another colour up here, P. That's it, good. Okay, so I can scroll this out a bit. So I've got my character. The thing that's good with this is you have a thing called onion skinning, and I'll explain that in a minute. So with this, I can either add a new frame, but you can actually animate these things or see how the character looks like when it moves. So if I do this, if I go duplicate, show you an example, I can switch on the onion skinning. I'm just going to show it, and on the second frame, I'll just zoom in. I'm going to change things a wee bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go O to get the orange, P for pen again, and I'm going to move this over slightly, and you can see it. What the onion skinning does is it lets you see kind of through the image, so you can see what's happening here. So this one here, I'm going to go O, P for the pen, just to knock out that, and then while I've got that colour, I'm going to run it down here. If I switch on off the onion skinning, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of moving everything over one. So I'm going to go O for the black, P, and so I'm now just moving all of this kind of over by one space. O, get that, P, so we can add that in. So if I switch off, you can see what's happening. I'm just kind of moving it over. This thing up here actually shows you it animated, even though there's 2 frames. If you speed it up, it looks pretty crazy, but if I take it down to something like 6, that's usually a good thing. So that little thing makes the character look like they're kind of shuffling their head a wee bit. So you can go through and you can do these frames and kind of add things in. Now, one bit that I'll show you here that's quite good is you've got a few funny tools down the end. So you've got paint bucket, you've got a mirror tool so that you can get things absolutely symmetrical. This will go through the whole image, painting the same color. So if you click on the orange, let's try it now. You can see it's gone through and it's selected all of the orange part. So I'll undo that. This is just another way of doing straight lines. You've got an eraser, you've got shape tools, magic wand for selection, and hand tool, these things for selecting areas. The 2 that are really interesting are these ones down here. So you have a dithering tool, and again you can pick the size of the pen. So it creates like a speckle pattern, but it's using whatever you've got here. So at the moment I've got transparent and green. So if I change that, so let's say I go O again for the eyedropper. So I've got the orange. Swap this around and maybe I'll get this O, get the darker orange. Now if I use that dithering tool, it's using those same colours. Swap it around and it's going to do it the other way, not that you can really tell all that easily. So that can be a really nice tool. The other one that's really good is this one, which is lighten and darken. And you can see with this, it says command for darken. So let's just try it and see what happens. Maybe I'll get a smaller pen to see if we can work it out. See if I move it quickly, it's essentially whatever it goes over, even the black, it lightens it. Now if I hold down the command key, it'll have no effect on the black because it's already as dark as it can get. But it darkens it. So rather than adding in those pixels, it's kind of discoloring them. So it can be really, really good for getting shadows and things like that on the side of faces and bits and pieces by lightening and darkening. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you some other options here. So these are just pixelated graphics, so you can look things up. You know, some of them really, really simple animation, but beautifully simple, using highlights, subtle shadows and colors, really, really simplistic ones. Some of them are characters you'll know. This, you know, if we're talking about lightening and darkening, this is a really good example where you're getting some kind of more modeling of forms. This one where it kind of shows the stages of running. One I really like is this last one. You know, the style of these characters, really really simple, but quite beautiful. You know, the thinness and the awkwardness of the legs. Right. Really great looking shapes, and you can get that by, you know, the one I used was the middle one, but if you use this, and let's just how is it? This one, the selection. Select everything and delete it, and in this case, if we go down to the smallest one, you'll also see the colors that come up here. Once you pick colors, you can grab them from here. It's a quick way to do it. And you'll see with the smallest one, you can actually, you know, oops. Getting the smallest pen, you know, is quite a small line, so you can get some quite detailed graphics even on 32. It's funny, you can see the way that it's animating between those, even between those two frames. Okay, so that should get you enough to get going. Just make sure when you've done something that when you save it, you've got a couple of options. So you've got an export, and you've got the save. So if you save, You can save it as a .piskel file, so it means that you can open up the file again, not have any problems saving offline. And this one here, you can go export, and you can see you've got things now where you've got you can send it as a GIF, so as an animation. You can send it out as a PNG. So you've got a few options there to play with.